everybody! So today is Monday and that means it's time for family movie night. We reviewed Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure and the original Tinkerbell film, and now we're looking at the third film, Tinkerbell and the Great Fairy Rescue. And this is a strong entry in the series. It's probably my second favorite, maybe. It is interesting because it's set away from Pixie Hollow, but I just think it's very, very entertaining. Tinkerbell gets the opportunity to go over to the mainland, which she's been wanting to do very much, which normally she wouldn't get to do because she's a tinkerer, she's not a nature fairy. But she gets to go, but she sees a horseless carriage or a automobile, and she's amazed by it because she's a tinkerer, and so she wants to investigate it, she wants to study it, she wants to learn more about it, and she becomes kind of fascinated with the humans. Vidya is trying to convince Tinkerbell to not look at the car and not look at the humans, but Tinkerbell won't listen to her. So Tinkerbell ends up in this house for fairies that this little girl named Lizzie has created, and she thinks it's just harmless, it's just fun, but Vidya wants to teach Tinkerbell a lesson, and so she shuts the door on Tinkerbell, and she just is gonna, she's not planning on it being a permanent thing. Well, she ends up, Lizzie comes and finds Tinkerbell and takes her away, and so Vidya feels really bad that she did that to her friend, and she was just trying to teach her a lesson. So she goes and gets the other fairies. She gets Rosetta, Iridessa, Silvermist, Fawn, Clank, and Bauble to all come and rescue Tinkerbell. And so you get kind of two storylines going. And one of the things I like about this is that as opposed to The Lost Treasure, which was pretty much just Tinkerbell, this one you get to see all of the fairies and they all have sort of their moment, and you get to appreciate all the voice talent involved. And I really, really like that about this film. And so it separates into these two groups. You get the saving group that are trying to get to Tinkerbell, and you get the scenes between Tinkerbell and Lizzie. The problem is it would be very easy for them to get to Tinkerbell, but it's raining and they can't fly in the rain. And so they end up building a boat, and that's a really kind of a fun segment, I felt like, and it's pretty exciting, and they go through kind of rapids at certain points, and they end up facing different challenges and different things like that, so that's good. And then between Tinkerbell and Lizzie, because they learn to communicate, because Lizzie's dad is a scientist and he thinks her belief in fairies is silly and ridiculous, and he gives her this field manual for her to study and to be more realistic about things. Well, she ends up she ends up finding a way to communicate with Tinkerbell, and she writes in the field manual all about the fairies and all the things she's learning from Tinkerbell. Of course, her father doesn't believe her, and it sort of becomes this back and forth between the father, between Lizzie, and you see how he is eventually convinced of the fairies, and to really listening to other people, to communicating with them in their language and the way that they understand all that stuff. It has a lot of really nice messages. I think the story is pretty good. The animation is really good in this. It's definitely a step up. I think they used more 3D modeling in this than they had before. They stepped it up as far as the rain, the water sequences when they're in the boat are really good. And it's just a well done film. I really think that these movies are underrated, and this is the best of the three that I've reviewed so far, for sure. It's also got some good music by Joel McNeely, and he has done, I think, all of the Tinkerbell films, and he does a very good job in this. And so yeah, it's a very enjoyable film. I would give it a B+, because I think it's just very good. So let me know what you think if you've seen Tinkerbell and the Great Fairy Rescue. And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you later. Bye!